So today we're going to taste the 2015 B.R. Cohn North Coast Silver Label Cabernet Sauvignon. This really is the backbone of the B.R. Cohn brand. It's what has made B.R. Cohn a well received, a well understood entity across the country. Basically, it's bringing together elements of the best growing regions in the North Coast. North Coast being an AVA, American Viticultural Appellation, that constitutes Napa, Sonoma, Mendocino, and Lake counties. And Sassoon as well, though we don't talk about Sassoon very much. The lion's share of it is Napa, Sonoma, Lake, and Mendocino, and that's really where the fruit for this wine is coming from. A lot of it is Mendocino. We source vineyards up there. Basically, Mendocino is sort of a bifurcated growing region. There's a whole coastal range that encompasses primarily the Anderson Valley, where it's famous for Pinot Noir and some Chardonnay and other cool climate varieties. But then there's a whole interior section of the county that basically runs along the Russian River, which flows out of the Yoloboli Mountains just north of there. It's there that we source the Cabernet Sauvignon for this particular part of the Cabernet Sauvignon for this particular wine. There's also some Cabernet Sauvignon coming from Lake County. Some of it comes from the ranch in Sonoma at B.R. Cohn. And there's even a little smidge occasionally from Napa, although not huge percentages because we try to keep Napa in Napa for the most part. There's a little bit of Zinfandel and Petit Syrah in this blend as well, and that's grown at our estate winery in Hopland, where the wine is, for the most part, fermented and aged and then bottled. The goal with the Silver Label wines, both the Cabernet Sauvignon and the Chardonnay, and for that matter the Pinot Noir as well, the goal is to make wine that is going to be approachable on release, that is going to be enjoyable as a wine to pair up with foods, with the focus hopefully being by the glass pours in nice restaurants, where a really high quality estate can be represented at a pretty fair price. If we were locked into having only the Sonoma fruit that we grow at the winery into this wine, we'd have a hard time. We couldn't hold the price point that we need to hold in order to get good by the glass placements. And that's where regions like Mendocino and Lake County, they may not have the reputation with the buying public as standalone wines that Napa and Sonoma do, but the reality is, in the right regions, grapes don't know that there's a dividing line at the county there. They're every bit as good, and the reality is that there are very few high-quality producers in Napa and Sonoma that don't dip a toe into the Mendocino and Lake County waters in order to actually raise their quality level in many cases, and certainly help bring their cost of goods down a little bit in all cases. Basically a long way of saying it just makes a lot of sense. You're growing the right grapes in the right place. They're developing excellent flavor and excellent balance, and you're able to get it to your customer at a price that actually makes sense for them, and it's sustainable in the long run for us. Everybody wins, and that's kind of what we're hoping for with this wine. So as you taste it, to me it's very classic Cabernet Sauvignon. It's got that kind of warmer climate Cabernet. So to me, it's always a little bit of a sort of a blackberry jam, some fresh blueberries, but definitely kind of purple and blue fruits as opposed to red fruits. The mouthfeel to me is a very important part of any wine, and here it shines. You've got that really kind of silky tannin structure. It's not soft and non-existent. I mean, there's definitely tannin there, but it's an approachable tannin. It's a soft tannin. It's one that it's a tannin structure that is going to work well with a pretty broad range of foods, and ultimately I think that's what you want in a by the glass focused wine. Aged in French oak for not a huge long time, basically somewhere between 16 and 18 months depending on the vintage and how how quickly you guys are selling it. It's good. Make me rush. I don't mind. It's a good thing. And then bottled up. This just went into bottle within the last month. So it's pretty exciting. 2015 Dynamite vintage. Not a terribly big vintage. Pretty small in terms of yields across the state of California, not just in the North Coast. But that just means more concentration and more structure. So hopefully you'll enjoy the wine.